Hi everyone, welcome to Chandan Logics. You all know that students who are preparing for bank, SSC, railway, police, defense, CSAT and other competitive exams are very familiar about Chandan Logics. Why the reason is, Chandan Logics have trained lakhs of students, and out of those lakhs of students, already thousands of students secured government jobs in various sectors. Now, how this is possible to us? This is possible to us only because of our expert faculty team and our exclusive designed curriculum for examination. If you observe our expert faculty team, each and every faculty is having vast experience and they're having in-depth subject knowledge based on the present examination pattern, and they have trained lakhs of students. And coming to our curriculum, we have designed our curriculum in such a way that our video lectures are completely digital interactive video lectures where we are going to teach each and every subject in depth, complete concept oriented teaching and complete time saving techniques based on the recent examinations. And we are going to conduct mock examinations also. These mock examinations are exclusively based on the real-time experience of what actual examination is going to happen. And we are going to provide you complete concept-oriented PDF materials also. If you are a serious aspirant and looking for the right platform to achieve your dream job, download Chandan Logics app.
Let us discuss the next pattern of questions. Now we are going to discuss questions based upon weighted average. So first I will be explaining you the concept and then followed by questions based upon that. Okay, so weighted average is like very important concept. Based upon this concept you get questions frequently in examinations. Okay, let us say example, you have one group. In this group, let us say number of persons are n1 and their average, let us say it's a1, and you have, let us say, one more group where number of persons are n2 and average, let us say, a2, and let us say you have one more group where number of persons are n3 and average is a3. Now if I ask you a question, what is the average of all these groups combined together? I am explaining it one more time. You have three groups. First group is having number of persons n1 and average is going to be a1, and second group is having number of persons n2 and average is like a2, and you have third group where number of persons is like n3 and average is like a3. If I ask you what is the average of all the groups combined together, when I ask you what is the average of all the groups combined together, you know what is meant by average. Average is nothing but sum of numbers divided by number of numbers. That is what we have learned. So first I need to know sum of these groups, which is nothing but n1 a1 plus n2 a2 plus n3 a3 plus, if I am having more number of groups, it will be so on, divided by number of persons. Number of persons will be n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus so on. Yes or no? This is how you will calculate average for all of these groups combined together. So when you have three different groups and if you have number of persons and average, and if they ask you to calculate average of all these groups combined together, then average is nothing but n1 a1 plus n2 a2 plus n3 a3 so on. If you have more number of groups, divided by n1 plus n2 plus n3 plus so on. This is how you'll calculate it. Sometimes what happen is questions may be in this way also. Sometimes, let us example, there is like a group. Okay, in this group, let us example number of persons are n and let us say average of the group is a. Okay, so we have a group where number of persons are n and average is like a. Now in this there are some groups. Let us say first group having number of persons n1 and second where average is a1, and let us say you have second group where number of persons is n2 and let us say average is a2. Now there is one more group where I need to find what is the number of persons and what is their average. Okay, if I need to find this, then how to calculate? Okay, so in this question what happened is I have given you total group average. Total group average is n a. It is like number of persons is n, average is a. Out of three groups I have given you two groups data. First group is like n1 persons, average is a1. second group is like N2 persons, average is like A2. Now I need what is the number of persons and average of this particular group. Now if I ask this question, then generally how do we calculate? If I need to calculate the average of this left out group, then I calculate them in this way. Yes or no? That is, total average is nothing but A and number of persons is N. So sum is going to be N into A. Now from this I need to subtract all the groups, which is minus N1 A1 minus N2 A2 so on. If I am having more number of groups, divided by number of persons N minus N1 minus N2. Yes or no? If I am going to calculate in this way, then I will come to know what is the average of this left out group. Yes or no? This is how you calculate. But whenever in examination point of view, you need not calculate using these formulas. You will not use your previous formula and you will not use this formula as well. So what we will doing is like, whenever you have questions in this way and if they ask you to calculate the average of all these groups combined together or average of one particular group which is left out, then how to solve these type of questions. These are like general formulas, but in examination point of view, we will not use these formulas. In examination point of view, we are going to solve them much faster without using formula. So I will be showing you how to solve these type of questions without using formulas. So these two different type of questions you are going to get. They will ask you what is the average of all this group, or they will ask like they will give total group average and they will ask any one particular group which is missing. So either they will ask in this way or in that way. Okay. So let us look at questions based upon that. So you have a question saying in this way. The average of 30 results is 20 and the average of 20 results is 30. What is the average of all the results? Very simple question. Look here. First it is saying that there are 30 results whose average is how much? Whose average is 20. Next there are 20 results whose average is how much? Is 30. Now they are asking what is the average of all the results combined together. Okay. If I need to solve this question in a normal way, how do I calculate in a normal way? There are 30% and their average is 20. Now this is going to be 30 into 20 plus similarly there are 20% average is 30. So it is going to be 20 into 30. Yes or no? Divided by total number is nothing but 30 plus 20. Now this is same as whatever the formula we have used earlier. If you are going to apply the formula, then this will be your calculation. You need to calculate and you need to mark the answer. Yes or no? This is how you are going to calculate. But in examination point of view, you can't do all these calculations. Now how to do these type of questions much faster? Very simple. Just observe here carefully. Now what I am going to do is like first try to make the calculation simple. If I need to make calculation simple, you need to do is like left hand side, if there is any cancellation, you can cancel those numbers. Okay. Now if you look here, 30 and 20 gets cancelled in 10 table. Yes or no? So that is reason in 10 table it cancels 3 times. In 10 table it cancels 2 times. Now 30, 20 is same as 3, 2. Why? Because even after cancellation also it does not change. That is reason to make calculation simple, what we are doing is like we are cancelling both of them in 10 table. Now this is going to cancel for 3 times and this is going to cancel for 2 times. Now total it is going to be 3 plus 2, which is nothing but 5. Okay. Now observe here carefully. Now I need to find what is the average of all these persons. Now what you need to do is like here average is 20 and here average is 30. Now what I am trying to do is, instead of calculating, I know the concept of equal distribution. So I am going to apply the concept of equal distribution. So when I am trying to apply the concept of equal distribution, I am going to assume average value. When I am going to assume average value, I am going to assume the value which is close to these numbers, so that my calculation is going to become easy. Yes or no? There are 3 numbers of 20, 20, 20 each. Similarly, there are 2 numbers of 30, 30, 30 each. Now I need what is the average of all these numbers combined together, which means all 5 numbers combined together. Now what am I assuming is, I am assuming average as 20. When I assume average as 20, each and every number should be 20. Let us check whether it is 20 or not. Now if you look, my assumption is 20. and even here it is 20, which means both of them are exactly same. There is no deviation. As there is no deviation, I can take it as 0. Yes or no? If you look here, my assumption is 20, but this is 30, which means more than my assumption. How much more than my assumption? It is 10 more than my assumption. Yes or no? Why? Because 30 is 10 more than 20. So 10 more than my assumption. So now what you need to do is like, look here carefully. Now this 10 more for how many numbers? 10 more for how many numbers means for 2 numbers. That is the reason you need to multiply it. So 2 into 10, that is nothing but 20. As this is plus, now you need to add it. And don't forget, now this 20 extra has to be distributed for all. So 2 into 10, that is nothing but 20. Now this 20 extra has to be distributed for all. So all means total 5. So when you are going to distribute 20 by 5, now it's going to cancel for 4 times, which means average of all of them is nothing but 24. So we can mark answer as 24. Very, very simple. So whenever you have questions based upon weighted average, you just need to follow this. The first thing you need to do is like, try to make calculation simple. That is the reason cancel if there is any cancellation on your left hand side. After cancellation on your left hand side, you need to assume the average. When you assume the average, you just need to check the deviation. So if it is like more, you will take it as plus. If it is like less, you will take it as minus. If both of them are exactly same, as there is no deviation, then you will take it as 0. And finally, if you are getting more, you need to add it. If you are getting less, you are supposed to subtract it. But don't forget, while adding or subtracting, you need to distribute and add and distribute and subtract. Don't forget that. Okay, let us look at the next one. In a class, there are 32 boys and 28 girls. The average age of the boys in the class is 14 years and the average age of the girls in the class is 13 years. What is the average age of whole class? We need to find average age of whole class. Now in this class we have boys. How many boys are there? 32 boys are there. And we have girls. How many girls are there? 28 girls are there. Now this 32 boys average age is how many years? Average age is 14 years. Similarly, this 28 girls average age is how much? 13 years. Now they are asking what is the average age of whole class. Look here. Now if you look here, if you need to calculate in a normal way, then how do you calculate? 32 into 14 plus 28 into 13 divided by 32 plus 28, where calculation is going to become complicated. That is the reason don't go with complete calculation. Just follow the procedure, whatever I am saying you. Now cancel on your left hand side if there is any cancellation. Yes or no? Now if you look here, 8 cancels here. How many times? 8 4 times. It is going to be 32. Yes or no? Similarly, any cancellations here? Now does 8 cancels in 28? 8 cancels in 28? No. Yes or no? Any more cancellations here? Sorry. If you look here, 4 is going to cancel here. Rather than 8, 4 is going to cancel here. Now this is like 32. Yes or no? This is 32. And this is how much? 28. Now 4 cancels here how many times? 7 times. And 4 cancels here how many times? 8 times. So total it is going to be 8 plus 7, 15. Instead of doing it as 32, 28, now we have made it as 8 and 7, which is combined together 15. Now this 15% I need to find average. Now look here, I told you need to assume the average. Now what I am doing is like I am assuming the average as 13. When I assume the average as 13, each and every number should be 13, 13, 13. If you look here, it is 14, which is 1 more than average. Yes or no? 1 more than average, so plus 1. Now if you look here my assumption and the value whatever I am having, both of them are same. As there is no deviation, you will take it as 0. Okay. Now this 1 more for how many percents? 1 more for how many percents means 8%. So 1 into 8, it is nothing but 8, which means I got 8 extra. As I got 8 extra, now you need to add this 8. But don't forget, while you are adding, you need to distribute and add. You need to distribute for all the percents. All the percents means all 15%. So 8 by 15 is nothing but 0.53. So we can say that answer is nothing but 13.53. So all of them combined together, average is nothing but 13.53. Very, very simple. Just go with whatever the calculation I am saying you. if you're going to do in this way, then calculation is becoming much simple. So what I have done, 4 cancel here 8 times, 4 cancel here 7 times. Now 32, 28 changed as 8, 7. 8 plus 7 is like 15. Now whole combined together it's like 15. Now what I have done, I have taken my assumed average as 13. If you want, you can take 14 also. Why? Because I have already told you initially in the introduction about equal distribution concept. Yes or no? When I assume it as 13, here I don't have any deviation, so 0. Here I have a deviation of plus 1, so I have written it as plus 1. Plus 1 for how many percents? 8%. 8 into plus 1, it's like plus 8. So I need to add this 8. But while adding, you need to distribute and you need to add. So you need to distribute for all the percents. All the percents means 15%. So answer is going to be 13.53. Let us look at the next one. Mahesh buys 3 shirts at an average price of 1250. If he buys 2 more shirts at an average price of rupees 1450, what will be the average price of all 5 shirts he buy? Very simple. So Mahesh, what he has done? First he bought 3 shirts where average price is 1250. Next what he has done? He has bought 2 more shirts. So 2 more shirts where average price is going to be 1450. Now you are supposed to find what is the average price of all the 5 shirts. All the 5 shirts, that is 3 plus 2, 5 shirts. You need to find this one. Yes or no? If you have seen there is no cancellations, so you need to proceed in the same way. Now if you look at, this is 1250, this is 1450. Now I need to assume, I am assuming the average as 1250. When I assume average as 1250, each of them should be 1250, 1250, 1250. Now if you look here, this is 1250, which means there is no deviation. As there is no deviation, it is going to be 0. But if you look here, I assumed it as 1250, but this is 1450, which is more than my assumption. How much more than my assumption? 200 more than my assumption. So this 200 more for how many? For how many means 2. Yes or no? So 2 into 200, it is going to be 400 extra. Yes or no? Now this 400 has to be distributed for all. So all means all are like how many percents? All are like 5. So you need to distribute for all the 5. When you are going to distribute, 400 by 5 is going to be 80. So new average is going to be 1250 plus 80, that is nothing but 1330. So new average is going to be 1330, which is like option 2. Very, very simple. Weighted average is one of the important concept and simplest concept as well. Just try to make calculation simple. If you're going to make calculation simple, then you can solve all the questions based upon this pattern very easily. Okay. Let us look at your next one. Even next question is also similar to that. Read the question. A library has an average number of 5-10 visitors on Sunday. So on Sunday there are like 5-10 visitors and 240 visitors on other days. What is the average number of visitors per day in a month of 30 days beginning with Saturday? So there is like a month which is having 30 days and it is going to begin with Saturday. In this question it is saying that Sunday number of visitors are how many? Number of visitors are 510. And in other days number of visitors are how many? 240. Now your question is, per day what is the average number of visitors in a month? That is your question. Now look here, in this month there are how many days? 30 days. Yes or no? As question is saying, it is going to start with Saturday, which means now in this 30 days, 5 days are going to be Sunday. Yes or no? 5 days are going to be Sunday. If 5 days are going to be Sunday, remaining 25 days are going to be other than Sunday. Yes or no? Why? Because total 30 days. Out of total 30 days, first is Saturday. So second will be Sunday. If second is Sunday, after every 7 days you are going to get Sunday, which means second will be Sunday, 9th will be Sunday, and so on. You are going to get Sunday for 5 times, which means out of 30 days you will have 5 Sundays and remaining 25 days will be other days. Now what question is saying? It is said that on Sunday number of visitors, on Sunday number of visitors are like 5-10 visitors. Yes or no? In the remaining days means remaining 25 days. Remaining 25 days number of visitors are nothing but 240. Now your question is, what is the number of visitors for the whole month? That is your question. Now look here, you can cancel here. 5 table cancels here 1 time, 5 table cancels here 5 times. So total it is going to be 1 plus 5, 6. Now I need to assume average. Now this is 510 and this is 240. I am assuming average as 240. When I assume average as 240, each and every number has to be 240, 240, 240. Now if you look here, my assumption is 240, even here it is 240. As there is no deviation, now it is going to be 0. Why? Because there is no deviation. But if you observe here, now my assumption is 240, but here I have 510, which means I am getting more. I am getting how much more? I am getting here 270 more. Yes or no? This 270 for how many days? Only for 1 day, which means I am going to get 270 extra. Now this 270 has to be distributed equally. So distribute this 270 equally. When I distribute this 270 equally, so equally means total for how many days? Total for 6 days. I need to distribute. Yes or no? 6 4 times it is going to be 24, which is like 240, and you're left with 30 remainder. So 6 5 times it is going to be 30. So new average is nothing but 240 plus 45, which is going to be 285. So we can say that average is nothing but 285. Very simple questions. So whenever you have questions in this way, just try to use your common sense and make sure that you make the calculation simple. Once if your calculations are simple, you can solve all these type of questions very easily. Okay, let us look at your next one. What is your next question? It is saying that a man bought 13 articles at 70 each, 15 at 60 each, 12 at 65 each. The average price per article. So we need to say what is the average price per article. So let us look at that. So what man has done? Man has bought 13 articles. Yes or no? Man has bought 13 articles. 13 articles of 70 each. Similarly, he has bought 15 articles. Now this 15 articles is 60 each. Similarly, he has bought 12 articles. Now these 12 articles